Hello, everyone, coming in to record the energy update for the zodiac sign of Taurus. So please remember, these do not replace any medical, psychological advice. These are meant to be taken as entertainment. These are for the collective. These are not personal. So not everything may not resonate with you, may not be connected to you. We'll see where it goes. So I am prepping and preparing to record the whole 2026 year. And for some reason, I got pulled in to record these individual ones first. So let's start, Taurus, with your reading, with what I'm picking up. So 2026 begins with a big influence of the Jupiter energy around you. I just see lots of Jupiter. But it's bringing in a sense of making like strong connections, who you're connected to, what you're connecting with. It may be a time of where you are networking, you're showing up. So if you work in business in any way or spirituality work or wellness work, you may find yourself making connections, connecting to people, finding your way through navigating. Now, it's also a time that when you may find yourself having to have some of those hard conversations. It's those conversations that are must haves. And the one thing that's coming up for me, what I'm picking up, what I'm hearing, and I'm hearing it loud, is forgiveness, 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 forgiveness. And that forgiveness often ties back to ourselves. It could be the place of where, there is forgiveness between maybe you, a sibling, a parent, someone very close, and the way the forgiveness unfolds is in having a conversation, being able to finally, discuss something that you have probably not been able to discuss in a long period of time. And I feel like this is like the universe has been trying to bring this back together for a few years. So if you have been like, yeah, they're like, I thought this was going to happen years ago and it didn't happen, it's because we've had so many energies that's been pulling us farther away instead of pulling us closer together. And a lot of that energy that's been pulling us apart, I feel like it's like really starting to come back. It's like we're coming back. We're having courage. This is a year of where we have courage coming in. The year of the snake in the lunar in the lunar new year is that we're going to be going from 2025 was the year of the snake, and in February with the lunar new year is that we're going into the year of the horse. So there's been a lot of shedding, there's been a lot of shedding old skin, releasing, letting go of old energy, which brings us into kind of a sense of a new. And when we come into a new self, a new energy, is that it also brings in a level of maturity. So we are picking up like this level of maturity and really seeing, feeling, sensing this mature energy. So there's a seriousness that is also coming around the Taurus. And I feel like this is playing out throughout the year. Communication begins, family gatherings, probably not so much, probably later in the year, probably down the road a little bit. It just feels like maybe closer to the end of the year. Now, this is also it would be like a 10-year, because last year's 9. So this would be, if it's a 9-year cycle, if we're looking at it in a 9-year cycle, then we're really coming into the universal year of 1. Now, there's so much that's saying, don't forget the 10. And the reason why I feel like I'm getting don't forget the 10 is, don't forget the archetypal energy. And so the archetypal energy, which builds in our collective consciousness, would bring us to the 10, right? It would bring us to endings. Now, I just brought up 110, and of course, there's many 10s that are here. And so it's the end of old. It's the end of old cycles. It's also the beginning, because endings and beginnings work together. There is no separation in endings and beginnings. They meet at the same place. They meet at the same doorway. One is on this side of the door and the other one is on this side of the door. There is no real gap or space. All is in between. Is the thought, is the door itself, right? It's what we open into. And so the endings and the beginnings are blended. And so because of that, this may be a year that it may be in your life that maybe this is the time of where there is a family, there's like, say, a family passing. There could be something that is like finally resolves things, or we're kind of forced to come together. We're forced to make connections because of something that's happening. It could also be a celebration that's come bringing people together. So there's several reasons why this can be unfolding, but they're saying don't forget the tens. Don't forget that we can get all excited, we can get all ready, but 10 is also happy endings. 10 is also happy endings. So if you look at the 10 of cups, it's a happy ending. And so we can also have the happy ending also coming up. And then they're telling us, don't forget the zero. The zero would be the fool's card. And with the fool's card, that would be ultimately the choice. So there's going to be choices to be made. And those choices to be made are going to be about endings and beginnings for a lot of people in the Taurus energy. What am I ready to end? And what am I ready to begin? What is that I've put all of my effort into? So you may have been putting the past 10, 15 years into one area of your life, maybe one focus of your work, of your business. And then all of a sudden you're just like, you know what? I don't know why, but I'm not feeling this. And you're not feeling this because the same person who had the same dreams and the same desires to do that is not the same person who's kind of walking into the new beginning, not walking through the doors. And so there is a sense of saying, you know what? I think I want to be a little more adventurous. I want to take a chance. So this may be the year where you're taking a chance. You're going to be, there may be places where you're saying, I'm going to take a chance on love. I'm going to take a chance on business. I'm going to take a chance on a move. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to see where this takes me, which means sometimes we have to have those hard conversations. So anything wherever Taurus sits in anyone's natal chart, that would wherever those signs sit. So you could listen to all of these energy updates if you know your natal chart, and you'll probably see some influence in those areas of your life, of where each zodiac sign sits, in which house it's in your natal chart, and how it's being influenced, if it's in opposition, if you have a transit happening, if it's square, right? If there's something happening that is in your natal chart in that, like, so this, it would be influencing. So I do suggest, especially for you with Taurus energy, is really look at your charts. Like if this is your sun sign, most likely you're watching your sun sign. Look where else you may have Taurus. Look where else you may have Aries. But I feel like you have to be very open this year. You got to be very, it's like you're being, not you got to, you're being invited. You're being invited to really look at yourself with new eyes, new lenses, to kind of let go of the groundedness. Saturn is going to be in Aries, and that Saturn in Aries is a sense of leadership, but it's methodical. It's a sense of, you may want to be very focused on what it is that what you're doing. Now the next Saturn would be moving then into Taurus. So Aries is taking this journey through Saturn, and then the next one would be in Taurus. So it's like, and it's not happening anytime soon. You got a little bit of a couple year break here before it fully goes into Taurus, but it's revealing something to you. So there's things to be revealed about you to yourself that are things that maybe where you can see how maybe you can be complicated. You can be short-sighted. You can be not open in certain areas of your life. And you may also be creating your own resistance. And wherever that energy is, you're being invited now to really look at it with fresh eyes, because you have the magic. And so the magician being in the universal one, if we're looking at a 9 year, are so many perspectives. And that's the thing. Do not get yourself locked in to only one perspective. All of these things that we have, they're all tools. They're all tools to help us. They're to give us like a view of ourselves, to see ourselves. Of course, the original is our natal, And then everything else is all these branching out. But even our natal is a glimpse. There is just so much more to be discovered. It's like we're walking through the unknown territories of the universe and we are discovering these parts about ourselves, which is why archetypal energy is so important, because archetypal energy is focused on collective and soul and the soul connection that we have and the identities of our soul and who we are in our soul and how that shows up and how it plays. And so the magician is telling you that you have everything. I didn't even pull a card in the Aries reading at R. I don't think I pulled one card at the very end. Um, and so there's the magician. And that magician is saying, you have everything that you need to really craft something new, but you have also have the ability to kind of spellbound people, to be captivating. But magic can also be reversal, right? Like it can also be black magic. It can also be, wishing something upon somebody else or looking into somebody else's life and wishing for something that they have. Be careful what you're wishing for, because you can't see the whole view of somebody else's life. You can't see what's happening behind closed doors. And you might be wishing, something negative upon somebody. Like, be careful of your power and be aware of your power. Be aware of the influence that the Taurus energy has, because the Taurus can appear to be very subtle, very kind of like, because it has such practicality to it. And so being very practical when you're being told to be very magical means that you got to take your feet off the ground, right? It's the year that you're going to have to rise up. And the expansion, we have North Node in Aquarius, which is leaving like room for expansion. It has this magical, but it has like this ability to kind of clear everything else out and to be laser focused. And so there's a sense of like, it's like minimalist. Put it that way. It's like a minimalist. And I'm like, it's just like this minimalist, but it also has this sparkly magic. So it is where the Merlin energy also comes in. I'm really seeing the mystical, magical. And the mystical, magical side is to really get to understand who you are at a soul level, not who you are at a practical level, not who you are just based on your sun sign, but who I am on all levels. And so it's inviting in a more playful approach, a more fun approach. It's about kind of letting go of the having to be practical and serious and taking a chance. I feel like this is your year to really take a chance on something new, take a chance on life, really kind of pulling back those layers. And we don't have the new year until the lunar new year until February. So I feel like it's still like some shedding that's happening. So you may find some of the chaotic energy. It may feel a little chaotic in the middle, like say up until the middle of the year. And then it's going to feel like there's going to be a whole bunch of whys and reasons for family gatherings, for connections with family, for getting together with people. It just feels like there's a busyness that's here, and it feels like your summer is going to be, you maybe got all these invites to weddings, but it's not going to be so business focused as it's going to be family focused or gatherings focused. Like summer has a busy sense of kind of doing what it is that fills your heart in a personal way. And so there's a lot of personal things that are taking place. So it's taking care of personal matters, caring for personal matters, being very concerned about your personal matters. It may also involve clearing up some of those personal matters that need to be resolved. I keep picking up around you the I keep picking up like the mysticals, like I keep seeing like fairy kind of energies. So you may find yourself intuitively being guided more towards your gardening, the earthiness, the stewards of the earth, the druid kind of energy. And so you're very connected into the druid energy naturally. And so the druid energy feels like it's calling you and you're being called into. And so they're inviting you in, they're calling you in. And so it's funny because I'm like, you're looking for the perfect card. You're searching for the perfect card. You're waiting. It's almost like I just noticed that I was like flipping, not shuffling. I was looking for a specific card. And I'm like, I'm not looking for a specific card. So you're looking for specifics. Like, I want certainty. I want to know. And if I got certainty, then I'll take action. And the universe is saying to you, the guides are saying to you, you're not getting certainty. You're being asked to take a chance, to take a leap of faith without a guarantee, because nothing is really truly safe or guaranteed. Look where we live. We live in a ball floating around out in the middle of the universe. Come on now. Um, and so you have to look at things from that perspective of just saying, if I took a chance on me, if I took a chance on my knowing, if I took a chance on my intuition, and I trusted my intuition and was, and was guided by my third eye, because a part of the mind part is the third eye. So this is the funniest of things. So I just shuffled away and I said, what do they need to know? Because you're looking for certainty. And the card that they gave me for certainty is, this is no shit, you just cannot even make this up, was you got the 10. And you got the 10 of cups, which we spoke about earlier. And it is the happy ending. It is a year of where you will see happy endings. You'll see, kind of, if you have children who are growing up and you're just wondering if they're going to turn out okay, is that you're going to finally see them. They've had a challenging, they may have had like challenging few years. And this year, it's like you're going to see them finally find happiness in their lives, finally find, the one, finally find the job, the career, what makes them happy. And when they're happy, you're happy. If you're a mom and you're going through this, it may be where you've been struggling with getting your children to the place of where they feel balance and harmony. And it's because this year is bringing some balance and harmony. It's not going to happen all in the beginning of the year, but by the middle, by the summer months, going into the fall, finding that balance, finding that harmony. And I just feel like the chance that you're taking on you is the thing that brings you closest to your happiness, being able to be defined by your choices and by the choices that you make, and saying, you know what, I chose that. I made that choice, and that's taking responsibility. And that comes all the way from your soul, of being able to know that you can trust you. Now, I did pull the King of Swords as an odd man out card. This was an odd man out card. This is what it gave me. It gave me an odd man out. And so is this where you become the odd man out because your radical thinking, your out there energy is now you're revealing it, you're speaking it. All the people around you that was kind of like really attached to your very practical side, and now you're being more magical, and now you're feeling like an outsider. It's okay to be the outsider. It's okay to be the outsider. Now, the King of Swords, and what it's showing us is it's really bringing us into all of this air energy. So there is going to be a lot of air energy that is going to be circulating around. We have a lot of influence of the Aries. Now, there's a lot of Capricorn energy in the January, but that's kind of, then it moves on, like now, January. But then we have a lot of Aries energy, a lot of planets being influenced by Aries. We have the Neptune in Aries. We have a lot of Aries influence, and Aries is that fire sign. So if you are associated to Aries in any way, or you have it in your chart, I get this chuckling because I feel like Aries is kind of taking you by the hand and saying, come on, get out of your head. Let's go do this. It's a little bit of a playfulness and saying, come on, you're getting a push. So here's your Aries friend right here that's telling you that you can trust you. Yeah, you can have faith in you this year. And so this King of Swords is that person who may also be coming into your life. This may be someone who comes into your life that has that strong air energy, that may have that Gemini energy. They may have the Libra. They may be Aquarius. It has a sense of, the mind. It's all about mind. It's about innovation. And it's where you may become innovational. It's where you may be dreaming your dreams and living your dreams. But it's coming on the heels of what I'm getting is faith. Like really, truly having faith in what your mind is creating, and having the courage to act up on that. And so this may be an influence on the outside. So if this is one of the air signs that are coming into your life, there's an outsider here coming in. Now, if I were to place this in a shadow aspect of it, was is to be kind of aware of the air energy. Be aware of someone trying to talk you out of what you want to do. And this may really come up around the Taurus energy because you may be feeling, you may have someone who's trying to talk you out of the things that you know are right for you. So let's just say you're changing jobs, changing career. You're burned out, you're tired, you know this is, you know you have to do this for your health, for your well-being, but then someone says, "Oh, but what about the family? What about this? What about that?" And it'll be so easy to neglect and say, neglect your needs. But if you neglect your needs this year, your health is going to feel it. This is also a year because of all of the air energy, is that, this is where we do have migraines. This is where we have mental issues. It's where sometimes, those people in our lives that are aging, we may see a big influx and a rise of dementia patients this year. Mental issues. There's a lot of mind things that are playing out here. So there's going to be the influential energy that's going to try to get into your head. And so remember, your greatest enemy exists within, and it's our mind's ability to stop. But it's also our intelligence, right? It's also tied to the intellectual self, and it's tied to critical thinking. So really using critical thinking and to be very intellectually aware is to really sometimes not question yourself, but question the motives of others. What is the motive behind why somebody is trying to, talk me out of something that I have been, playing over and over and dreaming about forever. And now here's the opportunity. So it's a balance. I'm really balancing it this year. Health wise, I keep getting neck. So neck, head, jaw issues, molars, like those back teeth, clenching your jaw, like kind of hanging on, like there's some tension. So there's definitely some tension that's playing out. Um, so everything that ties into the throat also, I'm picking up around Taurus energy, is because it's all around communication. So throat, neck, shoulders, ears, all of this area of the energy center of the throat, and finding your language, finding the correct words, because it's so easy for us to, spew things like, "Oh, well, I'm just so sad." And it's like, am I really sad, or am I kind of really just over? Am I just over not being heard? Am I just so done with this? And so I got to find the right language to know what it is that I'm trying to communicate, because I can't resolve and heal what I cannot properly communicate. The other thing to pay attention to is your refrigerators. I don't know why. Refrigerators. So there's a big influence tied to the food. Now, this is also going to be the year of the horse. So horses can't just eat anything, right? So I do feel like whatever your lunar Chinese astrology sign is, it's very important to know that going into this year as well, because it's influenced by the horse. Is it friend or enemy to the horse? Is it neutral, right? And so there's that as well coming in. And so that will matter. But it's like it's almost like maybe restricted or selective diet, like really having to pay attention, not being able to just open the fridge and just eat whatever you want whenever you want. It may be the year that maybe it's gluten, maybe it's dairy, but it's like sensitivities. It's like your body is it's becoming sensitive to. And so there's a sensitivity, and it's tied to foods, it's tied to what you ingest. So that could be, what you keep pulling back and not and not expressing. And now I can't keep pulling back and I have to express this. And there's a loudness to Taurus. You're loud. I don't know why, but you have loudness to you. My granddaughter is a Taurus, and that little one is so loud. And of course, there's a love of food, absolute love of food. I'm like, she's my little dream person because she's a foodie and she's going to be a foodie. And when she eats, she goes, mm, 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 mm. So Tauruses have a love of life, a love of all things in life, and food is one of them. So this can feel very frustrating when it feels as if you're being restricted, but it is because you are like ascending. You're growing into another version of yourself. And it could be because there is also a stomach issue, esophagus issue. Another thing that could be really coming up with this is thyroid issues. Could be thyroid, something happening with your thyroid, paying attention to that, could be hormones. But I'm picking up sensitivity. But the other part of this is I see refrigerators going. I don't know why, but having to replace your refrigerator and put in a new refrigerator. And I have no idea why, but this could be very specific to someone, but you're getting a new refrigerator. You need a new refrigerator. There's refrigeration issues happening around. And it could also be maybe the career of refrigeration. Who knows? Because everybody needs refrigerators, right? So maybe it's fixing refrigerators. Who knows? Um, the other thing that I'm getting from that is, in the grocery store and you see all the things in the frozen department that are like processed foods. I really feel like you have to be very aware of the frozen meals that are processed meals. The frozen veggies, they're good. The frozen pizzas, the all of those things that are quick and that you have tell yourself, I don't have time. This year, you have to make time for cooking your meals, for what kind of food you're ingesting, and anything that is processed is not going to work. And the reason why is because you can't do fake. Fake is not going to happen this year. It has to be real. It has to be real relationships, real connections, real communication, real conversations, realness. It's like your whole essence is about craving the realness of life. And so that sense of realness. And so on the outside, you could have people coming in that don't have the best of intentions, that are not there for your best intentions. And be careful on the rushing. If you rush, you're going to if you're rushing around and not really being aware of your surroundings, you're going to find yourself stubbing your toe, hitting your knee. And it's because the universe is just saying to you, pull her back, pull her back. You're moving forward. Big things are happening, but you're not meant to rush through it. You're meant to enjoy it, to experience it. So 2026 is yours to experience. You're here to experience it. You're here to enjoy it. You're here to embody it. You're here to feel it. And so that means you may be seeing your kids becoming happy. You may be birth announcements, wedding announcements, going to weddings, celebrations, showing up at events, going to different things. There's just so much there. And on the financial end of it is it can be a little bit wobbly at times. And the wobbly is because you are transitioning. And there's some transitions that are being made throughout the year at different times. But then you also have these pockets of abundance. So it's wobbly, pockets of abundance, wobbly, right? So it's like back and forth. So it's like when it's good, don't spend it all because there will be a wobbly few weeks or a few months, but it's going to come back again. And this is where the trust and the faith is saying, just trust in you. And the certainty that you're looking for is the happy ending. And so we definitely have the endings. We have this whole new kind of journey. Don't forget this. We can't escape the things that we try to just look over is what we're being told. If we want to get to this, we have to be willing to allow space for endings. So this is where forgiveness also comes in, and for the magic that is unfolding. And sometimes our guides are working magic behind the scenes over a period of time that we have no idea. And so yeah, there's just so many things that are beautifully unfolding for you. And you want to add to this, then the whole yearly, when you see the whole 2026 yearly energy update come out, listen to that as well. So these are basically they're little crumbs, little pieces of your year for you to be able to listen to and hopefully just give you a little bit of encouragement and something to kind of smile about. But also a little bit of heads up of the energy that's happening. It doesn't mean it's all going to happen personally to you, but it's all out there and it's all unfolding. It's all out there. And so it's not easy to not take everything so personally, but everything that's happening in the world is not personally happening to you. It's energy that is flowing through you. And sometimes you just got to let the energy just keep on moving through you and just keep going about your day. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful year and Merry Christmas. If you're listening to this before Christmas, I'm recording this on December the 23rd. And so in Newfoundland, this would be Happy Tips Eve. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can go to my website. And the online booking system is there. You can also purchase my books, my cards, all of those things directly through the links on my website. It's all in the link below. I send you much love. Bye-bye.